I'm Zoe Roan Hopkins.
And I'm Ben Chronister. We are Lyrics Underground, a design duo based out of Baltimore, Maryland. We love using collaborative design to fight for climate resiliency, environmental justice, and food sovereignty. This competition allows us to do just that for the Atakapa Ishak Chawassa of Grand Bayou Village.
Living in the marshes and wetlands of the Louisiana coast, one creature has shown resilience and adaptability in a changing environment for millions of years: the American alligator. Alligators are keystone species and ecosystem engineers of the Gulf Coast. In the dry season, they dig alligator holes, deep puddles used to cool down and attract prey. They support species diversity by providing habitat and water for an array of critters and plants, and demonstrate the alligator's ability to adapt to their surroundings. Alligators also cultivate community, working together to hunt and fostering relationships. Alligator Island is a floating planter box that follows in the alligator's footsteps to serve the Grand Bayou Village community and beyond. With 18 inches of soil, Alligator Island supports a diversity of medicinal plants and produce, including peppergrass, okra, eggplants, spinach, beets, and many others. The double-walled design insulates soil from the harsh sun without the need for environmentally harmful products. For deeper-rooted shrubs and small trees like figs, manglier, and elderberry, a collar attaches to the top of the planter to increase soil depth. Slide the trellis into the side brackets of the planter to grow climbing plants like peas and tomatoes.
Alligator Island adapts to float and thrive in brackish water. The size and shape balances buoyancy, accessibility needs, and contiguous rooting space, and the minimal design reduces the potential for structural vulnerabilities. Extended feet on either end evoke the angular snout of the alligator, increasing water displacement and forming a hydrodynamic shape. A weighted bottom lowers the planter's center of gravity, keeping it stable in rough water. Mooring holes in the lip allow planters to be linked together, anchored to a dock, or towed with a motorboat in the event of an evacuation. Our planter also stores extra water by capturing rainwater in a storage compartment beneath the soil. Its deep, narrow profile lowers the planter's center of gravity and increases stability. If the soil dries out, rot-resistant nylon wicking rope draws water into the soil by capillary action. Drainage holes at the top of the water storage compartment prevent overflowing and help maintain an air gap that prevents overly saturated soil and root rot. If the planter does get inundated with salt water, it can be drained out using the larger plugs at the planter base.
Accessibility is key to cultivating community on Alligator Island. The planter's height and width above the water makes it easily reached from a boat or a dock. It can both float on the water and sit stably on the ground. Use the planter to grow a variety of produce or grow one plant and share with your neighbors. Inspired by the alligators of the Gulf Coast, Alligator Island supports diversity, adapts to surroundings, and cultivates community to help Grand Bayou Village float and thrive together.
Islands, like members of a community, are stronger together. In coastal Louisiana, barrier islands have historically formed biodiverse ecosystems and protective shields against hurricanes, but the impacts of man-made climate change and environmental disasters have compromised these protections over time, leaving communities like the Atakapa Ishak Chawassa of Grand Bayou subject to food injustice due to the loss of their native land. Archipelago aims to help the residents of Grand Bayou protect and preserve their land and culture. We are architectural designers based in the Choctaw land of Bulbancha, known as New Orleans, and the Lenape land of Mannahatta, known as New York. Our floating network of gardens is inspired by the natural island formations of the Gulf Coast and the historic agricultural practices of the people who will use it to build food sovereignty.
A single planter is designed to rest on the ground at an accessible height and width for elderly and disabled residents. In order to accommodate the fluctuating water level surrounding the residents' homes, the planter sides are tilted inward to more easily shed salt spray while creating a lower center of gravity. The planter's distinctive V-shape is derived from the combination of coastal breakwaters and pontoon boats, preventing the planter from tipping over in rough water and protecting coastal ecosystems beyond it, while allowing it to be towed away when necessary. Archipelago features a central compartment for loamy soil, which is lifted above the brackish water to protect food crops that native peoples have historically cultivated, such as sweet potatoes and beans, or common staples like tomatoes and scallions. It drains into the integrated side compartments that hold a thinner layer of soil for propagating medicinal plants like pennywort and sea oxeye. The space below can be used to collect water or hold buoyant material, like food-safe polyethylene foam, for flotation.
Constructed in marine-grade aluminum, the planter's dimensions are such that a single planter can be manufactured affordably and sustainably with 3 standard aluminum sheets. After an initial assembly process in the Green Theory factory, multiple planters can nest together for easy transportation on a wooden pallet.
Upon arrival in Grand Bayou, residents can complete the final steps of assembling the planter by inserting base supports through the drainage holes, sliding in the bottom panels, and filling the compartments with soil. A single planter is anchored to the home of a tribe member who walks downstairs to tend to their crops. Planters affixed to a dock allow neighbors to participate in their care and harvest, and a group of planters anchored just offshore act as a community garden and floating breakwater that protects the coastline and the Grand Bayou homesteads, allowing the tribe to sow the seeds of their own resiliency.
Loss of arable land and saltwater intrusion force agriculture of all scales to retreat inland. At the core are issues of food sovereignty and environmental injustice, issues keenly felt by indigenous and other marginalized peoples around the globe. Yet these issues impact the whole planet. In a time when coastal communities worldwide face challenges of saltwater intrusion, sea level rise, and extreme weather events, the Grand Bayou tribe members need to adapt how they grow fresh produce and native medicinal plants. Introducing Turtle Box, an amphibious planter box. Our design team, the Lean Green Floating Machine, understands firsthand the challenges of growing in Louisiana. The Turtle Box system is made of durable powder-coated aluminum to resist the challenges within the environment. High heat and humidity, as well as the corrosive power of saline waters, will damage lesser materials. To address saltwater intrusion, we developed a tall form that floats high above the waterline. The tall form accommodates people of all ages. We took inspiration from the barges of the Mississippi River, carrying loads with minimal draft and maximum stability. The soil depth is 24 inches. A secondary water catchment chamber allows fresh water to drain from a spigot above the waterline without exposing the soil to salt water. While a flood event may last for days or even months, it will be crucial to be able to drain the fresh water from the soil. Root rot caused by improper drainage will kill just as certainly as saltwater will. A lower chamber filled with foam gives the system buoyancy. The design achieves stability through the catamaran-style paired hole system, which allows for increased stability by distributing the weight over a wide area. The boxes can be harvested without disconnecting and can be accessed either on dry land or while floating. The handles are attachment points designed to link the boxes together for stability. Boxes tether to the pylons around the house to allow the boxes to float up and down with the seas. This modular system may one day become a floating farm. During storm conditions, the Turtle Box seals with a watertight lid to protect the plants and soil from wave and spray damage. In the event of an evacuation, the boxes can be covered with a lid and towed behind boats to safe harbor. The lids are high enough to accommodate most tall or vining plants. The lid can also be used as a bench. These benches provide a stepping surface for children who want to learn about plant cultivation and harvest, and a seat for the elderly. The planters ship with the lids nested inside on a standard 48-inch wide pallet. As access to dry land decreases over time, the Turtle Box functions on land and at sea. Though not a path to complete sustainability, the planter box will supplement food production as coastal communities across the world lose the arable land that was their heritage.